After dark, you drive your van onto the bridge, turn off your engine.
You called Big Lizz 3 times.
No. You honk 3 times and you flash your van lights.
The specter drifts along the water.
Her eyes glow red, and she follows your van home.
Why is it specifically a van? Like, that's weird, right? So what about all those things that happen in this world that we can't explain? Like ghosts? They must be real, right? Like the story of Big Lizz.
Maryland. We find ourselves on a farmstead where Big Lizz lived as a slave. She was a large, powerful woman, bigger than most men and as strong as 2 mules, which is the standard method of measuring strength in olden days. In modern times, we use broadband speeds. She had the strength of 2 fiber optic cables and was twice as shiny. Mr. John Rustin was her owner. Unsurprisingly, he was a staunch supporter of the Confederate cause and had a large stash of gold. 2 facts he would definitely put on a dating profile, should he get the opportunity. If I was to guess, I'd say he was as strong as 2 opossums. But that's a guess. What more can I give you? Now, Big Lizz was passing information about clandestine activities of the plantation owner to local Union collaborators. Maryland was what some historians call a border state. Technically, it remained part of the Union during the war, but its citizens were divided in their allegiance. Mr. John Rustin was a paranoid type. Being racist certainly contributes. A stash of secret gold even more so. He suspected that Big Lizz might be conspiring against him, so he came up with an ingenious plan. Get her to help bury the gold in the Greenbrier swamp, and then kill her. Smart guy, smart plan. So, once she'd dug the hole, he swung his tobacco blade through her neck, beheading her in one blow. He buried her and the gold, knowing that no one would ever find his stash. The secret was safe, like an adult magazine hidden within an encyclopedia. He got home, peeled off his dirty clothes and fell asleep. Then, in the early hours, he was roused by the echo of heavy footsteps in his quiet house. He staggered across his room, chilled by a breeze, and swung open his creaky door. Sorry, that was me. The smell of rotting leaves and wet marsh hit him. Then, out of the gloom emerged a huge, mud-covered figure. In its left hand, a severed head with angry, red eyes. Big Lizz burst forward, and before John could scream for help, her hand swooped upward and gripped his throat. As he choked and squirmed, the other hand raised Lizz's severed head up to look right at John. Such splendid purpose in her eyes. Before crushing his throat and throwing him out the window and to his death. Big Lizz disappeared. The gold was never discovered. Today, teenagers venture to the Greenbrier swamp late at night, park their van and call for Big Lizz to return. And when she does, you can be sure she'll follow you. Sorry, you can be sure she'll follow you home.
There's no need to dwell on the story of Big Lizz for too long. It's a good story about a bad person getting their comeuppance. A morality tale that's a cipher for white guilt about slavery. The fact that the only 2 people who could corroborate this story both died with no witnesses shouldn't affect the authenticity, right? And so what if you manage to disprove this ghost story? There's thousands more that have external witnesses, so how do you explain them? Well, I won't. I refuse. Every culture instinctively believes in a soul. The default state is that we endure beyond death. But ghosts aren't normal people just hanging about like the last survivors of a party, desperate not to leave, just in case there's someone left to kiss. Ghosts exist to haunt something or somewhere. The American Civil War is a deep well of ghost stories, reminding us of the tragedies and the blood spilt during the birth of a nation. A lot of British ghosts are Victorian. All right, Governor. I'm not sure that's a Victorian voice, but... The Victorian time was like a repressed era when we ruled the world through force and battled with a scientific revolution. Perhaps modern civilizations are the ghosts of a country's youth, haunting the world with countless ills and memories of our barbarism. Not barbarism, because that's a cartoon elephant. Ba-ba! Is that it? I don't think that was the theme tune. So I won't debunk every ghost story. This film is already too long to get anyone but the most die-hard Stuart Laws fan watching beyond this point. Hello, Oliver. What I will do is offer my thoughts on the cause for our belief in ghosts and why, despite them being scary, they're ultimately comforting. A reminder that we know right from wrong, that we aren't just cruel animals red in tooth and claw. We're also black and white in morality. It's the ultimate answer to what's black and white and red all over. Life isn't a collection of events that just play out precisely how we plan. Even the happiest, purest events are threatened by something. Our most intimate relationships cease without invitation and our family die without permission. Like infants crying in the night, we want the light. If souls lived on, then we can tell her she was everything, or we can pretend that our Father is watching over us, imbuing him with moral choices he never made in real life. A morality that bears a startling similarity to what we long for in waking life. Death is the final close of eyes that shatters a life into reflections. The dead are who we need them to be, whether that means spectral and haunting or an ethereal guiding hand. Ghosts aren't stuck on Earth with one last mission. We're in limbo, unwilling to acknowledge our unfinished business and how to make up for the eternal landscape of the past. Our best hope is to try and make a better future, or worse future, depending on your mental reaction to blame. Maryland is burdened by spirits that won't fade away, shackled by sin and shame of a past unpleasant. Assuming you strive for a happier life, then you can imagine a guiding hand. If you need to blame yourself, then the hauntings begin. Oh, and if you need to bury gold in a hurry, then genuinely call my friend Catherine. She's got a couple of sweet vans and a terrible memory. Why is that relevant? Forgot where she parked the first one, bought another with a life insurance payout, and then found the original at the ice rink. Now she has 2 vans, Catherine's vans.
Stuart Laws actually died 4 years before this was even filmed. How do you explain that?
I'm getting proper goosebumps there. That is, feel that. That is, you can feel that all over. Yeah. Ugh. Spooky. I should stress this is meant to be a ghost costume. I cannot stress that enough. Okay. So hang on. Why is that camera floating by itself?